Hey, welcome to the Santai Podcast. And then just Ty, Santai, this place where we just tie now. Just think about it. We combine our mind with our heart, see what our gut mind is saying. Let whatever come out, come on out. I'm here today. You see the title? Bad trips, psychedelics, tryptamines, stress, anxiety, in general. But as well, I want to stick to the psychedelic realm and talking about bad trips. There's a lot of people that have so-called bad trips, and I say so-called for a reason. But we all had people that went out and took a dose of mushrooms, some acid, some LSD, some I'm not going to touch the meth and all that other stuff territory, but I'm talking about the tryptamines and ayahuasca. And some people will say, "Oh, I had a bad trip, or I felt like I was dying. I felt like I was dying, and I wanted to hold on. I wanted to hold on." So if y'all have anything that y'all have, if y'all have any trip experiences, jump in the comments and talk about it. So that or ask some questions. So let's jump back and forth. If you got any stories to tell, I have a Discord link, and y'all can jump in the Discord and we can chat that way as well. I'm gonna grab this link now. Wait, no, not server settings. Let me grab this link real quick. Invite people. Bang. Alright, I got it in the link on. I got it on the link on TikTok. Let me just get it on YouTube real quick. Hey, Raji, what you up to, Raji? It just says use hidden copy button. Hold on. It didn't copy anything. Hold on, Raji. I don't know, my dog's trying to get me to do something. Generate a new link. Why won't they let me send it? I'm trying to get the link out. I'm gonna find a way. Regulated goods content. What? I just said bad trips. TikTok trying to get me. Hold on, I gotta end this live on TikTok. They done restricted me. I'm sorry. I'm gonna have to retitle it. Strange. I'm gonna title it "Strange Journeys" instead of "Bad Trips" for TikTok. Okay. All right. So what I was just tying on was the reality of bad trips, because a bad trip can be titled a bad trip if you keep calling it a bad trip. But what I see is the opportunity to analyze, to see what's actually going on in your own. Hold on, it's like a double talk. To analyze and actually see what's going on for yourself in your own consciousness. And this thing that people call consciousness, spirit, the Akashic record, the Holy Spirit, the Tao and the Tao. It has different names all over the world. And these plant medicines, I'm gonna say this for TikTok. I keep saying plant medicines. Got talking a little cold. These plant medicines, the tryptamines, they allow for people to have this access. But it's not going to just be at first, or probably at first, people first journeys usually is like all butterflies and things going around feeling cool because you wanted to feel that good experience. But other times people will just be sitting down, relaxing, or just an average day, and then they'll take a dose and then the next day they'll say they had a very challenging experience. They some people even call it a psychosis. They say, "Hey, I'm going through some kind of psychosis right now, and I really needed help to get my mind back together to how it was before." But what is really happening? What is really happening in this experience? Like I said before, if y'all have any stories, come and jump in the comments and let talk about it. Talk about an experience that you had on plant medicine or on a journey, a meditation, a brain sonic harmonic syncing hemisphere experience. Because these experiences are very real. I've been talking about this for for about 7 years. I was watching some old videos, and that's what kind of got me wanting to do this. I was watching some old videos of me up in trees talking about the reality of finally facing my own nervousness and going and sitting with myself and then having a host of ideas appear as I saw myself in yeah, middle school, high school, college, and throughout my 20s, and being able to, you know how when you're going about your day, you have like so some people they have a voice in their head that's like analyzing everything, that's like observing, and like you kind of sit with that, like when you're reading a book or watching a movie. With with the plant medicine experience I had, the mushrooms, it allowed for those ideas, those observations to come back into play. And a lot of times, those observations weren't always glitz and glamour. It wasn't always, yeah, life is pretty cool. Like, this is everything. Sometimes it was, oh, wow, this, wow, I learned to walk with my head down. Or, oh wow, I was really starving that day. I really wanted to eat. So then I escaped and I was just playing the video game for more hours of the day to just to get through, pass the time. Eh, or even how I learned a lot of cool things. Like how I used to go to the park a lot. How I used to always run to the park. I used to always take my friends on journeys to the parks. And I was always like the Tommy Pickles of the Rugrats, saying, "Hey, come on, I got my screwdriver. Let's get out this playpen and let's go to the park, come up with some weird stories and play on the swings and stuff like that." And I was able to see in my eldering age to analyze those thoughts and my environment and situation that I found myself in now. And that's where I found the practicality of these experiences. Because, say, I was to just focus on what was so wrong in reality, and I was observing those thoughts, and I observed that for the whole duration of the journey. That's like you ever have a teenager and they can't come out the room. They sit in the room all day. They don't go outside. They vitamin D getting less, so they hormones is different. They are observing different aspects of their mind, but the things that they are observing are mostly things of self-doubt. And those things of self-doubt so readily become the normality. They become, this is just how life is. It's that type shit time. It's just, what are you, why are you trying to convince me is otherwise? And the songs that they choose to listen to, the way they choose to respond, which I mean is the way, say somebody, say everybody in the class is reading a book, and you have 33 people in the class. I went to public school for a long time, so there was a lot of people in there. Everybody's going to have a different book report, a different report on what the book is about, and the teacher is looking at all the books. I mean, looking at all the reports and observing their students for who they are, and then they get to see the different perspectives from the book. And even the teacher has their own perspectives. But from a sensei perspective, you, like Kakashi, you got to know what's going on in Naruto's mind, Sakura's mind, and Sasuke's mind. You got to be able to, and still intertwine. You know how they always show Kakashi's thoughts when he was still training him. That's why I love anime, because they show those thoughts that I was talking about before when you're growing up that you have, that's observing what's going on. And it's probably not always what you decide to say, but it's still, you still feel eternally connected to it. You probably just call it your intuition or your feelings. Like, this is just how I feel. This is how I feel type time. But in situations with plant medicines and perspectives, it allows us, say we held that same perspective. Like we said, hey, this is just what I think the whole time. I believe that we're crippling ourselves. And that's when we start saying, calling it psychosis, or we say we had a bad trip, or we didn't learn something from it. Because we was constantly running away from it, because we are the teacher and the student at the same time. We are we are the thing that we're always looking for. That's what I had taught to me in these journeys a lot of times. We are the thing that we're looking for. And that thing is multiple perspectives. Is having that creativity. Is having that creativity go boundless. Like when we were kids, we loved to just do things. We loved to just laugh. We loved to just even try random words. We didn't even know how to talk, but we were just mumbling stuff. La da da ma ma ma. iPad, iPad. It was really interesting times because we were just going at it. We were just having fun, and we saw that life was taking care of us. If y'all on TikTok, share this live, like this live, hit that follow button on the way in, and on the YouTube, Twitch as well. But yeah, we find ourselves. Let me not distract myself. We find ourselves getting in, staying in one perspective is what I'm getting to. When we have the opportunity to have so many different perspectives, if we allow ourselves to relax and relax in life. And with that relaxation, some may say falling into the arms of the universe or of God, or just seeking self. And when you seek the self, a lot of shadow things pop up. A lot of shadow things pop up, and that's where that's where we begin to realize who we really are. Because who we really are is not the thing that we really. It is who we are. I ain't gonna say who we really are. Like, forget all that mumbo, like woo woo talk. It's who we really are, because we create ourselves every day. But we're created from the choices that we accumulated over the years. And as we keep on moving on, we have the opportunity to make different choices. To make a different choice. Like, I was watching a video from 5 years ago, and it was me talking about a mushroom experience where I was trying to explain something while I was on the come up, and I was trying to explain the experience that I was having in my own mind, and I mean in my mind. And after a while, even the person I was talking to said, "Hey, I think you should just go sit down and relax." And because, and in my mind, I was like, "No, you really got to understand what I'm saying. You really got to understand." And that's where a lot of I've just put that as another key point of where people term as bad trips, when they want somebody to really understand what they're saying. And in this journey, I saw in the video that I told myself to go outside and just get some fresh air. And the fresh air was real beneficial as they take some deep breaths. And then I just went and laid down. I just went and laid down, because our mind is always trying to put things together. It's trying to etch things out. Like, you looking at something, looking at a picture, looking at a wall, looking at the grass, anything. Is your mind is trying to figure out what's going on, what's up, what's good. So if your eyes are closed, it's just you and you. It's just you and your mind. It's just you and your mind state. What mind state have you conjured up over these years? Over the years. And we hear about this a lot in, like, say, the indigenous tribes, when they um say they about to become a man or whatnot, and they have to go on their spiritual journey, and they send them off into the woods, or like send them off and then they have to stay out there for a couple of days and then come back, and when they come back they're a man. Well, they didn't have cities and neighboring towns to just go to when they had to get away from their house. When they got away from their families and stuff, they were just alone. It was just them. And most of the time they had a brew with them as well. They had the peyote, which would contain mescaline. And the mescaline was used by thousands of years by these different tribes. So when they gave it to their kids and sent them off, they knew that they were going to face a challenging experience, but at the end of the day, they were going to come back, and they were going to be a more reformed version of themselves, because they themselves, the elders and the moms and the dads stuff, they've been through the ceremony as well. They've been through the same thing. Now, this is a little different than being told what to do, being told. And they still have their lores to explain. And I think that this is what a lot of things are need to be used for. Used to, because we find ourselves trying to mix and match, like saying they said this over there, they said that over there, and what if they never knew about those people over there? Does that mean they're going to hell? Or what if those people never knew about that? Does that mean that they now need to know about that in order to be better people? Do they really know? I mean, do they really need to know that exact story in order to be better people? Or would just the telling of the story match with their observation of reality for them as a person? Because we read so many books, we read so many movies and everything. So I think that even in our own state of mind, for even if a person is highly, highly, highly religious, they still have a lot of grappling with reality, with things that they intook during their lifetime, what movies they watch, like I was saying, what kind of music they listen to. Now, a lot of ultra religious folk will try to shove it out, or people that want to perform a certain mind state would shove a lot of other ideals out of their membrane. But for the most part, all of these things can be used as an observation tool for a human being, because we've been alive for thousands of years. I was watching John Hancock, the America Unearthed on I would say Discovery Channel. Shout out to Discovery Channel on Netflix, and he was talking about the Bering Sea Strait, where they was talking about how humans crossed from Russia and stuff to Alaska 10,000 years ago when the last ice age was, and that's how people got to America. I remember reading all about that in school in US history and everything. But now they finding um footprints and signs of civilization, like structures with lidar and everything. Hey Skittles, what's up? What's up? Just tying it on down. You have any experiences with some challenging journeys or anything like that? Let me that's what I'm talking about. If you got any stories, hey, come and share them. Yeah, the John Hancock on Netflix. He now they him and his team, they found signs of civilization not just 10,000 years ago when they claimed they got here, but 23,000 years ago. So people have been doing things for a very long time. So to say that this is that, oh hey random kid, you got a new name now. Good day, bro. So to say that, so in my mind, to say that anybody has one story going on is an injustice to humanity's story as a whole. Because humanity's story is constantly being told. It's constantly transforming itself and evolving as we talk about it in real time, because we're humans. It's like being in a relationship. Like, do you think the relationship was figured out a long time ago, or does and that's is what it is, or does it constantly evolve with the common environment? It's a lot of cool things. It's a lot of cool things. But yeah, I just wanted to jump in and tie down a little on this because it was also somebody else that I ran into who came from Hawaii, and she was saying how um, she needs to run back to nature because being up here, she's having too much trouble sitting down. And she was doing mushrooms this morning, so her mind was just active. Like, I just need to go. I just need to go. But also, she was thinking about a lot of things that was changing in her life and things that she hated, and she was saying she still hated. So she was seeing nature as a way to escape, like going to Hawaii, but also was facing another paradigm in her head where she wanted to actually like get health insurance and see about this thing that's going on in her head where she keep getting headaches and other things. So she's seeing how she can be scheduled, but how being scheduled is kind of scary because she used to just doing everything on the fly, on the go. But things don't really stop. Things don't really stop, as we say. They don't really stop on the go. Things are always still fluctuating as we move on. But the fears will stop us from taking care of ourselves and taking care of those curiosity thoughts that we really do want to take care of. I find myself trying to take care of a lot of things. I was about to say I'm a mom. I'm a dad. Man, I'm out here in California. I live like 3,500 miles away from all of my family members. I haven't seen them in like 5, 6 years. So being out here in California, being from Philadelphia has been a tremendous wave that I had to learn to ride like crazy. And I've crashed a tremendous amount of times. I've crashed out more than people you've seen on that get a million views on a TikTok video. It's it's been so much at stake, and I love it. And that's the loving factor of me loving has been the thing that's been allowing me to pursue, been the thing that's been allowing me to get back on my board and just keep riding that wave for wherever it wants to take me, but knowing that I can keep on going with it. Hold on, I'm gonna jump into Discord and be like, had a challenging trip. Want to talk that frack? I'm live in the Discord. All right, now I had to send the send the alert out on Discord. See if somebody want to join the conversation, share their story. Hey, Skidder, you say I rap, so I changed it. What you mean by that? Sorry, coughing into the microphone. But yeah, it really is a real thing. Cause I observed, like I was saying, I've been through a lot of things being over here in California and having to do a lot of things on my own. A lot, and not really on my own as in physically, but what I mean, and not even really thinking. Cause with my thinking, I had to learn how to adapt to the environment that I'm in with the observation factor. Because just like people can reign a book over people and say that this is the law, this is everything, people can reign their mind state over people and say, hey, this mind state that I achieved is everything over whatever you're saying, whatever you got to do. People get to that point as well. So through being here, I've learned to have a mind state where I'm thinking about myself. But me thinking about myself and learning about myself it has allowed me to open up to everything else. And that's what I mean by self. The connectedness of myself. That myself is not alone in this game of life. That myself is one with nature, as they said forever. It'd be so fucking cliche. Is one with nature. Is one with nature. And all of these things all correlate. All of these things all correlate together. Hey, it's good you say I rap now like hi, my name is. Hey, post your vid in the comments, bro. If you got anything that you recorded, post it in the comments. Yeah, these things become very yeah, these things become very real. Become very real. And a lot of people don't pay attention that they're running a certain mind state program until they have some form of anxiety or until they have some confrontation. And sometimes with a confrontation, people will either bubble up with they double down, bubble up on their personality and toughen up, or they'll be like, hold up. This is an opportunity for something dramatically, drastically novel, new to occur. And it doesn't have to play out like we readily see in the movies or playing out a line that we saw in a music video in a song or from our uncle, from our auntie, because we the state of survival a lot of times call a lot of things to the mind and then just readily start spitting. It's just start spitting like a game show. Like a lot of times we think we on a game show. Like we act like we on a game show and we need that money like it's straight Squid Games. Like you see this game, the show Squid Games, and how they go through all those mind processes. Like it was so many times they could have just quit. They could have just quit being on the Squid Games. They even asked them, like you said, but majority rules, and that's how it is in our mind with our perspectives. Like you have a bunch of thoughts popping up. Nah, it's really like this. Nah, but they said this that one day. I remember that one day that I failed. I remember that one day I saw this on TV and that person looked like me and they was thinking like me and they tried that and they failed too. So that's how it just is. That's just how life is. And then forget about all the other things that happen. All the other shows we watch. That's why I love going back and watching cartoons. Going back and watching cartoons and seeing what I was thinking when I was younger. Going back watching Hey Arnold. Going back watching Rocket Power. Going back watching what's that? Boy Genius. Jimmy Neutron. Beavis and Butthead. Old episodes of Family Guy. Arthur. But a gang of stuff. Hey Skittle, you said not yet. I will in June 30th at 12 p.m. 2025. I dissed my friend. Oh, why you had to diss your friend? Hey, I'm starting some beef. Oh man. Life is a trip. Life is fun. Ooh, let me get this follow thing from over my head on TikTok and drag it on down. All right. Yeah, cause as I was saying before, it get real interesting. Hold on, let me do this real quick. There we go. Yeah, being mindful is a strange thing because we're always doing it. Yet it's something that we can also do at the same time. It's something we put our best foot forward with, and it's also something that we see that we always was doing. And with those things, the relaxation starts to come about. The relaxation of not trying too hard, but trying your best. Because a lot of times when we try too hard, we'll break our back. We'll strain a muscle. We'll do something that would even cause burnout. A lot of us get into our favorite best activity of our life. And then after we get into the activity and after a week or so, we'll switch up and get into the next thing. And then we'll be like, oh, this is everything. This is the coolest thing. And then a month later, you get into the next thing. And then be looking, then wonder like, oh man, like what is going on? And our mind is always going to move. I believe we're always going to have some random fun activities. But as well, we have this carrier wave, this signature kind of tag that we can carry with us, which is something that we decide to put our best foot forward with, something that we decide to do. Like me with animations and doing computers. After I started doing mushrooms and stuff, I started really getting back into doing seeing what the computer world was about, and not just building it and stuff like that, which I went to be an intern with at the school district, but learning how to be creative on it and learning how to do art. And I was showing, and even with building it, I was starting to get my memories back of how I was in third grade building computers with Mr. Chad, and he used to ask my mom, can I stay later at the school so I can come and build a computer? So it was something I was always interested in. And in art class, I was talking to my mom because tell me how in Philadelphia, in most schools, they took away homework. There's no more homework. They say they do the homework in school because a lot of the claim is that a lot of the moms and dads, they don't know the work in the first place, and it was causing a lot more trouble for the students. So now they took a lot of the homework out of school, which I find to be it's going to have some dramatic effects because we need to do some more work we at home and stuff like that, or at least brush up. Cause you know a lot of kids, they ain't gonna read nothing. But as we evolve, I'm not fighting. I'm not fighting. I just know I'm inviting. I have a Kids Who Tie channel. So still like personal education, one-on-one apprenticeship with your kid. I think is going to be very beneficial in the future. But nonetheless, I remember when I was in school and they took away art. They took away art when I was in middle school. So then when I'm in my late 20s, I started doing have a psychedelic experience where I wanted to do art more. And then I started getting those memories back. Oh, they took away art. And instead of getting mad about it and thinking that the system was so corrupt and they just messed me up and now I'm this person now, I just started getting more interested in it. Started picking up the pen, started picking up the acrylic paints, started picking up the watercolors, started making t-shirts, started drawing more. And I never stopped. Got started getting into Blender, which is like a 3D art program that people use to make 3D movies. Like check out the movie Starfall I made. That took like a whole year to produce. So I was learning things along the way and stopping for these wave experiences where I would get knocked off the board and have to learn how to tread water and get back on the board. And sometimes just watch the waves. Not even be so much in a rush to get back on the board and jump on the wave, but to just watch how the waves go. Watch how the wave curves. Watch how I thought that wave was going to buckle like that, but it had a nice curve to it, or it was just like a little bump to it the whole time, like for wakeboarding. Or it's just different observations. And that's where meditation comes into play, seeing what's going on with our mind states, with ourselves. That's literally just it. And the breathing just does come into play because breathing is so simple. Breathing, they talk about meditation in my mind and breathing and connect those because breathing is so simple. It's one of the first things we do when we come out the womb. They say we take our first breaths. We take our first breaths, and then I'll add just how that we start experiencing the world. We start experiencing the world outside of just our thoughts, because when we're in the wound, it's still dark in there. It's still like we just sitting in the dark with our eyes closed. So it's just like a constant so-called meditation, like you're just observing. Then you come out, and now you got to meditate and see what's going on with all these people giving you a name, saying, oh, I'm your mama, and the doctor wiping the blood off of you and stuff like that, and then you crying, wah, wah, and they cutting this strange cord. Well, not even strange, this cord that's been feeding you nutrients all this time. So now you probably crying, saying, yo, like, how am I going to eat now? What am I going to eat? What's going on, man? I was eating off that for 9 months. Now I just going to cut it. How does this work? Where am I? It's a little chilly in here. 'Cause you know, in the womb is warm. And then you go in the hospital, it's always cold. It's always freezing cold in the hospital. It's always so cold in the hospital. So then I'm thinking, like, man, I need to, like, warm up and stuff. But I don't even know what talking is. But you just breathe. You just breathing, and that's what comes out. Like, ah! Like, that's a form of crying. Ah! It's a little more scratchy because you're not even trying to sing it. You don't even know what a clear throat is. Things are just all moving around, like, just all moving around. The tears start flowing. You know what tear ducts are and stuff. You're just letting all these emotions just flow all at once. The psychedelic kind of experience, the mind opening experience that is, because psychedelics just means mind expanding. The way that the mind expands, my bad, my eye was itchy. The way the mind expands when coming out of the womb is spectacular, man. And I believe we do have these memories back in. That probably was one of my memories. I never thought of that before. To keep it terrific. Never thought of it like that. But these thoughts are available. These thoughts are available. Us is available. Our story is available. We learn so much about other people, and then we try to become like them instead of sitting with ourselves and seeing who we are. And then once that thought comes up, like, oh, well, I don't really like it like that, I would do it like that. Actually, go do it like that. Like, it's that simple. Like, it's like we're a part of this huge story. This huge story where our internal thoughts really do matter. You said my thought is hella low this whole time? Hold on. I could boost that up real quick. Test. There we go. I know that gotta be better. Thanks for the lookout. Thanks for the lookout, X Toast 6.
¿Qué pasó, mijo?
Hey! Konnichiwa, ¿cómo estás?
Bien, bien.
Shiva's Shiva Gasan.
Namaskaram.
Hey man.
Hola. What's up? Konnichiwa. Onigashimasu. I only
Hey,
know like two words in Japanese. Not three. I know ki.
I've been tying it down with the Duolingo lately.
That's awesome, bro. I saw that you had a challenging trip.
No, no, no. I'm just talking about challenging trips.
Oh.
It is a challenge. I'll say the challenge is on right now. Come on now. Right, we champions up in here.
That's right.
But I had started it off. My brother had a challenging trip last night, and somebody else
Oh,
that I was talking to. She didn't think she was having a challenging trip in real time, like trying to decide what to do with life, and she just had mushrooms that morning. Like, I want to run away to Hawaii, but I just moved here, and I want to like get settled and try to get health insurance and stuff like that. And just
yeah.
trying to see the difference in the mind states. Because she got to get some things checked out instead of, oh, it's boring up here. I need to run back to nature. And I know how I can make it out there, just run around on the fly. And I'm like, yeah, the duality of things. Like, both is true. It's how you going to work it
Right.
out now.
Choices, bro. Many choices. And sometimes we're like trying to plug up 20 holes with only 10 fingers.
For real.
Something, something's always going to be leaking, but that's all right.
That the live didn't appear.
We do what we can do.
Hey, I got a question for you, bro.
Yeah.
You have any I just got finished sharing a challenging experience. I'll share another one if after you if you have one, if you're willing to share.
Yeah. Uh, First challenging psychedelic trip I had, well, there's many challenges in life, but
Mhm.
first challenging psychedelic trip I had was, I took about an eighth, maybe 4 grams, and we were sitting at my friend's house. There's three other people tripping and one trip sitter, and we were watching. So it started off, we were sitting on the couch inside, and I was probably like, I want to say 23, 24, maybe 25 years old, and I hadn't done any quote shadow work. I didn't internally, I kind of knew about light and dark, and I kind of knew about dualities, but I hadn't done it internally yet. Just as a preface.
Mhm.
Now we're sitting inside. We had a trip sitter. We're tripping, and we started watching Nick at Night. And Nick at on cable on Nick at Night, it was like Andy Griffith, and then Dick Van Dyke, and then Green Acres, and I Love Lucy. But I wasn't watching them in like regular speed was happening, but my perception was fast forward. I was watching it like on times four, where it's like like back and forth, like the whole all four of those episodes I watched in fast forward somehow, and I didn't tell anybody about it. I didn't. It was just trip as an I didn't know what to say really. Um, and then during like the last like I Love Lucy, one of the people that was tripping, she wanted to walk home. And right before that, the trip sitter had been playing with my bandana, and she put it in water and then was like draping it over me and like sprinkling water on everybody, like having some kind of like tactile feeling, because your feelings are kind of you hypersensitive in a way. Well, at least mine was. And when the person got up to leave, the trip sitter had the bandana over my face, and it was a black bandana. So now I'm in blackness. I'm just in blackness, and I don't know where I am. I don't know what's going on. All I hear is
Mhm.
every single person that I've ever known speaking the horrible, terrible, horrific, traumatic things to me. Anything that you could think of that has that definition, and everybody that you knew is standing around you speaking these things. So I hear my mom, I hear my brothers and my friend, everybody that I knew speaking horrible things to me.
Was you
And
able to see anything?
I was in blackness. I thought I was dead. Like I thought it was like I had no idea how I got there. Like it all came back after the fact. But while I was there, I had no idea how I got there. I was just hearing. I thought it was dead. Like I thought it was just done, and like quote demons are talking to me, and everybody that I ever knew is telling me the horrible, like fucked up shit.
Back to
Um,
back to back to back.
that just yeah, just yelling and being nasty. Uh, but over time, I've realized that I was breathing. Either I realized that I had consciousness, that I was being aware of things, or I was breathing. I don't know which came kind of. It was probably the awareness first, um, and then the breathing. Like I had realized that I was breathing. So I was like, oh, and every time that I would take a breath in, the voices would kind of change and it would kind of calm down because I'm focusing on now what I'm being aware of, or some kind of consciousness was coming back. So I ended up being able to kind of change it and realize, hey, I do have this body. Okay, so I'm gonna move my arms around. Then I realized, oh, I have something over my face. So I pulled the thing off my face. It was like 2 hours later. Everybody's asleep, and 2 or 3 hours later, and everybody's asleep inside the room. Like the trip sitter, and then one of the other people was there. She walked the other person home, uh, and the screen was blue, like on the old cable boxes. If you didn't have something, it
I
was like a
remember
blue screen.
those.
Yeah, yeah.
I remember
And so
they tried to get rid of the
everything
static
was
screens.
everything was blue in the room. So I'm like, what the fuck did I do? Everything's blue. Like so I went So I
Wow.
wake up my friend, and he's all, nah, bro, this and this and this. And he said, no, it's just everything's cool. Like, so that was, I mean, after thinking about the thing, like, it was totally understandable with the experience that I had. And that was the most, well, besides another trip I had that was challenging. That was probably the first most challenging trip that I ever had.
Yeah, the voices. Hold on, I was posting the link so people could join. Yeah, them voices that we take in over time and internalize and call it normal and not even know like that is creating this mask that we're using the whole time in order to so-called survive and navigate this strange world that somebody threw us in. And who threw us in here? All those beans of questions come into play. I feel you on that one, bro.
Yeah, I was not equipped really to fight it off, so I just kind of sat with it. I just let it happen. Like, there's nothing I could do, so I was just the onslaught was happening, so I just let it kind of like, I didn't fight it, like I wasn't freaking out, but it was like, what it was definitely disturbed to a point.
How was your was you still with your buddies at this time?
Yeah, one of them was there, but the trip sitter took one person home. So one of my friends was there the whole time, and he was just watching TV, I guess, until he passed out.
Gotcha. He didn't have like a similar journey. He
No, I told him about the fast forward, and it was hilarious to him.
he needed a little more. It's like, who knows? Who knows?
Yeah, it was crazy, bro.
Yeah. No, the fact that we can even experience going through those kind of turmoils in real time, I think is real beneficial. I was watching an old video from like 6 years ago of a mushroom experience I had, and I fast forward to the end. I was just skimming through it, and I was mentioning how I was thankful for it because that same amount of time that I experienced the therapy and like the voices saying this and how do I view myself? Where did I pick up this reality of walking like this or talking like that? Oh wait. Oh, what was I saying, bro? Hold on. I'm in the
How
air
you
right now.
experience reality and where you picked up things like talking. How do you talk like that?
Oh yeah, yeah. I was watching an old video and it was similar and I was seeing how I got through a similar experience. I was seeing how I got through a similar experience of facing the voices and what's going on the other side and how that would have took years. That would have took years of therapy and like talking and observation and playing things out and it still is at work but like that certain level of, don't you know, when you're trying to talk to somebody and really get them to say, hey, come on, like it's right on the chalkboard, 1 plus 1 is 2, one plus,
Right,
it's like, all
right.
right, all right, 1 plus 1 is 2, now we can move on to the next thing. It makes it so much, it makes it so fun when I can see it from that perspective because then um when you talked about breath right before you got on. So sorry for people out there if y'all got to hear this again a little bit. But this is my buddy. We be chatting it out. We I was going through a vision space of a baby being born and even the temperature difference and how they take their first breath because they had to breathe differently and then once they take their first breath that's all that they know because all this other stuff is starting to happen so like when we get back to our breath we're able to observe everything else that's going on just like we were when we were babies and everything was
Yeah,
still okay like we were just
yeah.
experiencing. Oh, it was cold. It was warm in there. Now it's all cold out here. Like, wait. I was just about to. I was eating from that tube. Why y'all just cut it? Where I'm supposed to eat from now? I gotta breathe
Yeah,
air.
it's very interesting. I wonder what it's like to be born with like a doula and like in water. I mean, they've probably been doing it. We've probably been doing it for a long time. But it's becoming more prominent, at least in as far as I can see, like people being born more naturally. You don't necessarily need to shock the baby as much. You're trying to do it as calmly, I guess, as possible.
Yo, you had me laughing because I saw a TikTok 2 days ago. It was an old invention from the 760s. There was a doctor and they actually got a U.S. patent too. They just didn't go forth with building it, but it was helping the baby get out through centripetal force. So if you get what I
Oh,
mean,
whoa, wow, yeah.
there was literally a spinning device and a person spinning, and it was a net that would catch the baby.
Oh man, trapeze artist,
They were saying it would
dude.
help push out. I was like, uh, what about the baby?
I did a triple axel before I first breathed. Triple backflip.
Hey Theo, hey Blue Flame,
Yo, brethren.
hey, the breath worker himself. What's going on?
Salute. Getting out of the hyperbolic chamber.
Hey, you have any journeys where it was challenging that you got yourself through?
Honestly, it's been nothing but smooth sailing. I mean, every trip's been really comfortable. They usually give me water, ask me if I need any snacks, give me a TV to watch during the come up. But nah, there's been a lot that were very challenging for real.
For some people, that is the challenge. Where's the water?
Like, where's the challenge? No. But yeah. With the water thing, yeah, you could be really out there, like especially if you were on mushrooms and you smoked some Mary Jane, you didn't have any water. That would be challenging.
I actually found that as a couple of my experiences. I just needed some water, or I just needed to use the bathroom. No, it was okay.
But it was like every time I had a challenging trip, I just went with it, and I was like, "This is what it is." If I'm perceiving something, if I feel like I'm realizing something, or it's usually like a realization that my mind was in some type of a confusion that was causing me some pain. It's like seeing something really painful, but the pain's not really pain in the end. It's like it is what it is. But it's like expecting there's so many like times in a psychedelic trip where I see two things in my mind are saved under two different things are saved under the same definition, or two things are saved under the definition when they're actually different things, or two things I think are totally separate on a map are actually right next to each other behind a wall.
Behind an invisible wall.
I'm like, wow, that's in the same neighborhood right there. But just looking at it, I'm like, things I was regretting or feeling from the past that I was like still in a way living in the present. And I was just like, wow, that's really there. Like, I was expecting that to be somewhere else. Or I'm like, I'm really spending time regretting something. It's in the past already. But it's like, it's just a mind fuck.
I'm listening. I had to restart TikTok. Say you're talking about regulated goods. We got to restrict this live. I'm like, hold up now. We talking about our
Talking about
soul.
thoughts. Thoughts are regulated goods nowadays, though.
I know, man. You know what world we coming into. It always been like that though. Thanks for sharing that though.
Yeah.
You have a license for your experiences?
I do. I don't have it on. Run! I swear, this one time I had $1 million. Run!
Don't let them find out.
Who
Don't let them find out we're rich in spirit over here. They're gonna try to tax us.
Got that soul tax.
They've been making that soul money underground for too long. We got can make a come up on them. No, bro. Those are the key to keeping things moving. Like just now, not getting caught up in the pain of things and what things could be made out to be in one way, but like in just multiple ways. Not getting caught up in the confusion, seeing it as
Yeah.
psychosis or see yourself putting yourself in. I didn't mean to say psychosis. I was actually thinking of a Pokemon, of like abracadabra, and like when they used to put you in the hypnotist, like in the hypnosis. Like you just observing what's going on and just seeing what's being inputted.
Because it's like that tension that builds up. Like, oh, what the hell? Stop! Hey, it's like that's already on top of something. Like for someone who's trying to get out of the net, you start squirming in the net. Really gets you deeper caught. And it's like not to hold your breath and be like spending all your breath. Hey, stop it! But if you're really just breathing through it, then the second it opens up, you just out of there without any waste.
Yeah, like the Chinese finger trap. You try to pull it and it gets tighter.
I was in this one
You just
trip
took
where it
me
was like
back.
in that hyper.
I say you just took me back to all the middle school and high school and stuff. Like, yo, that's what that was about. Well, let me blow this up.
In this trip, I was surrounded by wizards, and I was just in this hyperdimensional realm. And it could have been bad, like if I was really, oh no, but I was just like, I was just confused. But it was like, it was just a repeat, a loop. Every time I looked around somewhere, some other direction, it was like a wizard casting a spell towards me, making me flinch. And I couldn't get out of it. But then I look over and there was this little elf,
Hopefully this better.
this little gnome. We don't say the E word, but yeah, there's this little being.
They'll steal your socks if you say that.
For real. It's another story, but he said, hey, over here, come here. And he flipped, cartwheeled upside down, landed in one of these honeycomb portals upside down. Finally got me out. I felt like I was getting punked by wizards for a long time. Then we cartwheeled through, land upside down, but then in that other place, we're right side up. And then we're like Rubik's cubing through. Like if it was that, I don't know how many sides that would have. Like a 3D, like kind of like a World of Warcraft dice that has more than.
Yeah, them 20-sided
More.
dice. 24.
Yeah, something like it was like we were inside one of those, but every time we would like spin to another side, we would shift to a different direction, being up. After we go through so many portals, they got me out of there, but that was uncomfortable for a minute. After just like flying through space, so much stuff going on. Oh, all of a sudden, they're messing with me. But had I known, I would have just fractalized with them. It was like very early in the astral journeys.
That's how it goes. That's how it goes. Oh man. And it all means everything. It all means everything. Cause I was thinking earlier about how a lot of people that even would tote a book over somebody and say, "Hey, this is where all my philosophy comes from. This is where everything that I'm talking to you about now comes from." Forget about all the movies they watched, all the songs they listen to, or even the daydreams and what people call imaginations, which you find out are full blown journeys in the long run. Oh, thanks. Hey, Big Chill. Yeah, thanks for saying my mic was too low. I got to adjusted the levels. Everybody should be equal now. Yeah, everything plays a part to what we think now and how we play our position and the choices that we decided to make in the long run. Especially how much attention we put into it. That's why I'm like, like, got a good set of friends. I always bring up those times when we all met up and stuff like that. Like even with us, like locked into those moments and recall them, and it bring about even new found energy from just thinking about it and tying it on down. That's
Yeah,
cool.
in a way, it's like always changing. So sometimes we can get stuck on the way that we perceive things in the quote past. Until we look at it again, or maybe have an opportunity to experience it again in a new way. Some kind of integration, maybe.
That's all.
Integration.
That's all it is integration from the start. It's just our culture and stuff made it symbolized as, oh, you may be losing your marbles a bit. You gotta calm down. Right before I came on, I had the title ready and everything, and I jumped on the Discord for a bit, and Sun Tzu was out here, and he was streaming Twilight Zone episode, and it was an episode of a lady, a famous dance actress, who they put inside a psychiatric ward because she was talking about her dreams. But she was saying how her dream was actually real and what was happening in the hospital, and how they was just trying to convince her that it was something else that was happening. But she knew what was really going on. And they was like, no, calm down. That's not happening. That's not going on and stuff. And then by the end of the show, you find out it really was happening. But just the way we try to explain things to people, I was going into. And but yeah, I don't know really what I'm saying. But
No, well, just like we were talking about our trips, we probably described less than 1% of what happened in that trip, right? It's only a certain words can only say so much.
and
And
that's
I
why that
remember like
silence
some of the
just made a
early
million
trips.
dollars. Oh my bad. Go ahead, go ahead. It was a corny joke.
Oh, my mom. I remember my mom would say stuff. She would be like, she would just having that conversation with herself back and forth. Like, is it really hyperdimensional, or is it something that's already from the mind? I'm like, why does that have to even be exclusive? But she was trying to wrestle with that idea where it's like, did it just come from an experience already, or is it
Oh,
something
yeah.
beyond?
You reminded me, Blue Flame, of what I was.
I'll be right back.
You reminded me, Blue Flame, of what I was trying to say about the the different cultures and where we found ourselves in, like a lot of society just calling things crazy and like separating a lot of stuff. When a lot of other cultures, or even in some parts of American culture still, they had they would send their kids out to be alone for a while. Like in the native, a lot of Native Americans and indigenous tribes I was mentioning, they would send them out
Yep.
at like 13, and then say, "Hey, come back soon," and probably give them some mescaline, some peyote or something, whatever they had, and then they go and face everything by themselves. But they had faith that they would be okay because the parents and the aunties and uncles and stuff, they've been through similar experiences, so they was able to understand on some level what the kid was going to go through, even if they came back saying it was kind of bad or something. But also they was preparing them before they went off to do that, So it wasn't
Right.
just like, here, I got a eighth of mushies for you. Just go and take this and experience something. It was like a preparation going on. So like the stories that was passed down through their folk, I'll just call it folklore for now. Their folklores and stuff was able to then be realized by the individual's experience. So then they can see
Right.
what the people was talking about. They can see what the story itself was talking about. They probably see a jaguar in the jungle and stuff like that. And they'll be able to see themselves now as part of the story of a whole. Like, oh, I'm a part of the story of the folklore and of the people telling the folklore and of what's making all of this come together in the first place.
Right. Right. And
Your
one
mic
might,
went out. Oh, there you go.
oh, without those rites of passage, one might search for those, because it's really understanding who we are, how how we're fitting into our own story. So searching for those challenges is something we'll probably naturally do to expand, or to, to experience something that is cohesive. How does this all make sense to me? How does, you know and there's not really a cookie cutter for those rites of passage. You might have a certain preparations that you do, but it's kind of like expect the unexpected in a way.
Yep. In a big way. In a big way and a real simple way. In the real simple way. Because the changes are big, but when you act like, the cool guy that like make, or like Big Chill, he anything, but the cool guy that would like come into the room making big moves, but then act like it was nothing, but internally really worked hard and like got the mind state to actually make it
Right.
possible.
Right. Sometimes we don't know what other people have gone through to get them to that place, and we want to be like, oh yeah, let me take the cream off the top, let me, get the best piece of pizza. Well, you don't know what that pizza went through to get to your plate, or,
Not at
you
all.
know the trials and struggles and tears and blood and screams and joy and misery and all these different spectrum. We look at the thing and, oh, let me just do this one thing. Well, there's a lot of things you need to do to bake a cake or to make a pizza. It's not just putting it in the oven.
Nope. Trust me.
DiGiorno kind of DiGiorno fucked our world up.
Yeah, they did. Cardboard ass pizza. I remember I actually left the cardboard on there one time. And just had to scrape the top off because he was hungry.
Yeah, I've had cooking. Yeah, yep,
But no, I've been making pizza lately. I see how much money you save. Like when you actually
bro.
get the not the yeast, the flour to bloom, the blow up correctly.
Right,
It started expanding. Cause now I can get it to expand like 3 times like the original, what you start off with, the original circle.
right.
Oh man, I've been loving it. A lot more airy now, light crust.
Yeah, it's like alive. It's not something that's been processed and in a state of limbo. It's actually living.
Yeah, yeah. Seeing the yeast come alive, I started being able to do that. That's what changed it a lot. Cause I was some pizza dough recipes were just telling me to put warm water with the yeast and then mix it right with the dough and then let it rise. Then I just started watching bread recipes lately, and they let it the yeast sit with sugar and water. I'm in warm water, but not higher than 115. But I was using my finger, and I got it right 5 times, so I got it dialed down that way. But if it like burned my fingers too much, if it's like a certain temperature I got. But
Yeah,
now I let that sit for 30 minutes, and then it creates like a foam on top, and that's the yeast becoming alive and activated and stuff, and then mix it with the flour, and then
Right. Right.
and then an hour later it's just overflowing because I don't have a bowl big enough, so it's just like just multiplying.
Right. You can gather yeast from your house. Like there's yeast all around us. Are you familiar with that?
In some way, but what you mean?
You take flour and water, and then a jar, and you don't screw like a mason jar, like ju- you don't screw the lid on tight. You just let it have a little, so it can get a little bit of airflow if it needs to. And then you just every single day you dump out half of the mixture, and then refill it with flour and water. And you want it kind of like an oatmeal consistency, to where it's thick but it's not really soupy. And then the natural yeast that's all around us will start growing. My mom's boyfriend is a pilot, so he takes his yeast all around the world, and he's got specific, like he tried out one from going to San Francisco and doing it,
Uh
and then
huh.
going to like all these different places. And yeah, I mean, we're basically, because there's bacteria and spores all around us, we just necessarily can't see them. So it's like giving those things a place to grow. So you can essentially grow your own yeast if you wanted to. um, and it's I'm stupefied, amazed constantly by the mechanics of the world that we live in.
No, you just taught that together for me. Cause I didn't know, I didn't understand that really. Cause I did see a video last week about sourdough bread, and they
Yeah,
used that method that you explaining.
yeah,
I was like, oh, it just happens. They didn't explain the air and anything. It makes sense now.
yeah. His starter he calls Uncle Fester. Yeah, he makes it's. I guess it's just sour. I don't know if you can make pizza dough. You probably can make. You probably can make pizza dough from it. I'm not too sure. I'd have to do some research. But yeah, he's been making loaves of bread that we go get.
No, that's legit. Capturing the microbes from different parts of the world and breeding them into bread. The things we could do with our mind.
Yeah,
Siobhan, I need a loan.
you maybe. What do you?
I need a loan, man. What type of plane he be flying?
Oh, it's he's a pilot for Delta.
For the big old plane, the big shits, not like the little air taxi. Oh, Delta, yeah, the official shit, right? The big old jumbo plane.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. How long he
Yeah.
been flying?
Oh, he was a fighter pilot in Desert Storm.
Ah,
Okay. He
yeah,
like in
pilot,
the
pilot. Then Rogue
Yeah,
Squadrons, the Star
yeah.
Wars.
like what, 64, 65?
I think that's when he might have been born, but Desert Storm was in the late '90s when we went
No,
to the Middle East.
his age. About
Yeah,
what,
yeah,
60, 64, 65, or maybe older.
yeah, yeah. About that. Yeah.
Okay.
And Ty, you reminded me of the oldest soup. Uh, they had they've had a soup going for like 50 years somewhere. I think it's in South Asia, somewhere over there.
Let me
But the
see.
soup, they just kept adding stuff to it, adding stuff to it, adding stuff
I
to it. It's
heard
like the
about that.
oldest.
I'm trying to see if I can find a clip about it. Going to Mike, you probably get probably can heal all sicknesses with that soup.
Yeah, I was watching this on gut bacteria, how people in tribal setups, like rural areas have a greater amount of a greater diversity of gut bacteria that allows them to keep their body in stasis instead of like somebody who's always eating processed food only has a certain amount of gut bacteria. So it's like monoculturing where one thing can eradicate the whole garden if it comes in, but if you've got a bunch of different plants, then you probably can make it through that exotic element or the onslaught of a certain thing.
Dang. No, you will. I was watching this guy that traveled to Africa and in different countries too around the world, and he was saying if he didn't have the gut biome that he had, he would be sick 90% more of the time.
Right.
Like he practices just putting different things in his body, going for it. Because peanut allergies didn't always exist.
Did you get chicken pox? Do you remember when you had
I'm
chicken
trying to
pox, or did you?
remember. I remember them
Almost
talking
that
about
shit
it
my
all the
whole life.
time, but I don't remember actually having it. I think I had to ask
I had it when I
moms.
was had it when I was 3, and I was super sick. I remember. What'd you say, Sun Tzu? You had it your whole life?
No, I said I missed it my whole life.
Oh,
They
Oh,
said everybody should catch it at least once, but I never had it.
mm.
You ever heard that where they said everybody does get it once in their life in their younger age or something?
I
yeah,
thought that's how it was.
and that's what
Yeah,
I
that's
used to
what I
force
thought.
kids to be around other
I ain't even
kids.
playing. I'm dead serious.
Like, just get your chicken pox now so you don't get them when you older. Like, here, let my kid cough on you.
I used to think I was invincible until I got COVID, but then that didn't make me get the shot neither. But you know,
Right.
but we
Hmm.
see the point of that though. And then I caught that shit 3 more times, and then it wasn't nothing. Only the first one was special.
Mm. Yeah, I think True and I were sick around the same time, right before COVID hit, and I think like I probably had a mild version of it, but I didn't. It didn't hit me as bad as it hit other people, and I didn't get the shot either.
I think it was more of the shock, not even the shot or the pox. You know what I mean? The shock of this whole thing that's just unorthodox. You know what I mean? Like, oh, this shit just come from nowhere. Just to remind you that ain't nobody holding nothing nowhere. You know what I mean? Like the whole shit changed right in front of you. So can you imagine what tomorrow can do? The same thing that it won't do or it might do. It depends on you and what we gonna dive into. I think it
That,
was just a learning lesson.
that's
Not
right,
even
and
not even a blessing, just a lesson.
that's right, and that leads back to Ty's. The We were talking about our challenging trips. Have you ever had a challenging psychedelic trip? And if you have, would you share it?
Um, I think that I'm at the point right now where even the good ones can be challenging because it could be so good that it's challenging to balance it with what you see when your eyes open and you close the shits. But then as you go through the day, you realize you could look at things either way, and that's what you learn. Because a couple of days from now, the challenging one is going to be something that you wouldn't regret, something that you wouldn't mind experiencing again if you caught the lesson in between. So it don't make sense describing it with a certain word because whatever we describe it with is something that's unheard, that's really occurring. You know, it's just based off the perception that determines the particular reception. So either way, we never know. Only thing that we know is that we do know that we here right now as one, just moving, calculating one vibration. Yeah. no such thing as a moment line, but you could say there's a certain thing as a line. I mean, either way we go, we're going straight. And you could look at it like we ain't even going no place.
Right. Words can only say so much.
Words can only say so much. That's true. But no telling what the feelings, where the feeling will take you.
Right. Yeah. The map is not the territory.
Wait,
Word.
wait. I'm gonna just throw you one real quick. You don't got my Hey, Jamaican son. I was listening. My brother had called me. My brother had called me because he had some mushrooms yesterday, and y'all wanna what did you say about it real fast? Or where did we leave? If y'all. Like visual loop while watching Naruto. Like every time I reopen my eyes, like I was seeing the same scene over and over again, and and then I start seeing different colors. And no, I'm like, is this even real? I start asking myself, I'm like,
Hold on, what
I'm
you
like, is
said,
this
Ty?
even
What you
real?
say you saw?
He saw colors. What kind of colors did you see? I ain't gonna lie, I saw like oranges. Oranges colors? Yeah, oranges colors. And it was while I was watching Hedon fight Shikamaru. And I'm like, what's going on? So I pulled a test out. I put both of my hands in front of my face to see if either hand had an extra finger. And how was that? My left hand. No. First, I was looking at my right hand. My right hand was looking regular. I pulled my left hand up, and I put them both in my face. I'm looking at them, and I see an extra finger on my left hand. I'm like, what's going on? You did the thing from Jim Carrey from the movie where he was the guy and he's how many fingers behind my back. Oh yeah. Yeah. Then I ain't gonna lie. After that, I started feeling. I don't know, like within. I start feeling like extremely enhanced. If you get what I'm saying, like I don't know, I don't I don't know how to describe that. Like I just start feeling stronger. I say I start feeling like stronger in a way. I don't know how, but I definitely started feeling strong. I'm like, why do I feel like this? I'm questioning myself. I'm like, why I feel like I don't know. Right? Did you feel like your body was in tune, like it was working? Like you was able to feel your arms and your legs and stuff more? It started with my left arm. Cause while I was smoking, and as I bring the L to my lips, I started feeling that my left hand felt extremely animated. So I'm like, oh man, I'm like, it's kicking in. That was at the beginning. I'm like, it's kicking in because I started feeling it in my entire left arm. Like it just started feeling boom with me. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. but but yeah, then I ain't gonna lie. After I start feeling like enhanced in a way, I don't know. I think I start feeling another presence in the area. Start feeling another presence, and I guess I ain't like that because I just start feeling like I just can't. I ain't about to fall asleep here by myself. I ain't about to fall asleep here by myself. I start feeling unbearably lonely out of nowhere. It do hit different. So so I guess my anxiety started getting to me. That's where things cooked. That's where things cooked. I ain't gonna lie. My anxiety started getting to me, and all I thought about was getting up and going to mom room and snugging up like a bug in a rug right next to her. Oh. What
I ain't
happened?
gonna lie. I ain't gonna front. I start feeling I start like my thoughts got way more dull. Like I couldn't think past I couldn't think past yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
Nor could I think prior to it. So so I'm like I'm like I'm like I'm like is this the end?
It seemed like you was in a state of now, like all that existed was what was happening in that exact moment.
Yeah,
Nothing else existed but that moment.
that's where I was at. Like I I couldn't think future tense, past tense. I'm just thinking present time. And I'm like it was like a bunch of in a way it was like a bunch of anvils got lifted up off my mind
Mm-hmm.
because all I was thinking about was right then and there. But because I feel like because
It was new.
I'm not so used to thinking present tense,
Uh-huh.
I think my paranoia kicked in after that.
As it
For sure,
does sometimes.
paranoia definitely kicked in after that, and I started feeling like I started thinking like, am I even gonna wake up tomorrow?
Because you couldn't think about the sun rising in the morning. You could just think about it being what it was right there.
Yeah,
I understand.
and and I ain't gonna lie, Dukes definitely did help me out. Cause she turned on you know how Dukes get with her scriptures and stuff.
Oh, she.
I just had my eyes closed, looking up at the ceiling,
Mm-hmm.
and I eventually fell asleep, but it definitely took like a good hour, 30 minutes up to 2 hours, because I was it just everything just stopped feeling real. Like everything like really stopped feeling real. Because when I tell you when I walked in the mom room, I thought I was still in my room.
Mm-hmm.
You get what I like? Like when I didn't realize I was in mom's room up until like I uh, uh, I gave her a hug and laid down, and and then it was like I snapped back for a few seconds. I'm like, wait. And I just started looking around. I'm like, wait, like how I get here? But I know I got up, walked in there. I know I got up and walked in there, but it was like I don't know. It was like I was I don't know. I don't know.
He wasn't overthinking things. The mushrooms will do that. They'll put you in the state of now. And what do you feel now? What's eternally happening within yourself? And it doesn't always have to do, and like we have the choice on what we want to face a lot of times too. Like, did anything pop up besides the thoughts of death at that point? Like when it was in the moment? Like, did like, I gotta use the bathroom, or a family member, or oh, what is time? Or
Oh yeah. I got up and used the bathroom. I was like, I gotta use the bathroom. I just got up, walked to the bathroom, and I ain't gonna lie, mom did flush the little bit that was in one of the baggies. She flushed the rest of the mushrooms in the toilet. So as I went to go piss, I started smelling more mushrooms.
uh-huh.
I was like, I gotta get out this bathroom.
And that's what I talk about a lot. The culture that we have, that we was brought up around, doesn't really speak to the experience that a mushroom will give you, or that we really have every day. And like how we question reality on like what is real, what is not real, how do I feel about the situation. And we run a lot of times, in my experiences, bro, to what other people have to say about the situation. And that's very good. Like, I got my buddies here on the Discord, If they wasn't here, or it's been a lot of times you was on my mind too in some of the journeys. I was like, dang, my family all the way in Philadelphia. I'm 3,500 miles away, and I'm in this journey now, and all I can think about is how can I better myself? What can I do so I can make sure they got a better life? Like, and it was making me tremendously sad. I was like, yo, like, what can I do? Like, what the heck? Like, and that's all I can think about. I couldn't even think about the future, and I couldn't really think too much about the past on even why I was thinking those thoughts. It was just that was the animation at the time playing. But the observation of it was allowing me to get through it. And that's what I was talking with the bros about. The observation of these challenging experiences and seeing how the world around us still relates to what's going on in our mind. Like the stories that we take in, like, like, um, like the stories that we take in. Like you say you was watching Naruto. So you know how in anime, so you see how they deal with time and they do time skips or they got magic powers or somebody say, "Oh, I didn't know I could feel like this." And then you got the old man saying, "Oh, you just starting young wizard or you just starting." You know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
Like those realities are actually real, but it's not in the term of, oh, once you figure it out you're going to open a portal in front of somebody and say, see, I was right, see, I was right. But in terms of like our internal world that we think about, we have control over that. We have a say over that. And that's where the magic is over our say over the observations that we have. Cuz like say mom would throw the mushrooms away, and I did that before too. I did that before when Jamina took some mushrooms and I had a lot, and she wanted to take more, and I was just started taking them, so I didn't know how other people react to things a lot. I just knew how I reacted and people on YouTube. So she wanted to take a lot more because she said it was something that had to be experienced, but I didn't understand. I was just like, oh, this already too much. I already don't want people to call them around. What's going on?
It was like you started off
Oh, I'll give it to you in a second.
as a novice, and Jamina skipped up to being a what's the word hermit.
Yeah, hermit sage mode she was in. But it was just real loud in the house. So I was in this apartment. It was quiet. I was just scared. But it was like that. I found out later. But I wanted to flush them away. I said, oh, let me hide these in the backyard. But then later, like you said, I learned, hey, if we learned to sit, and I would have really been able to see what was going on, just like mom, and what's going on with culture, and how we have barriers that ourselves can only push by, not somebody else pushing you through. Like we all just to help each other along the way. And some people probably would try to mess you up, but that's only another way to find how much greater you are because somebody actually want to stop you or, or say something about it.
But yeah, I ain't never experienced nothing like that, and I ain't gonna lie. Only reason why I ain't gonna lie.
Hmm.
The reason I feel like
Like how many grams did you take?
I definitely had at least 1.5 plus.
Okay, and when it's the wavy caps, that's like 2 times. Yeah, that's like 3 grams of normal. Oh yeah, they're more potent than normal.
Uh,
3 times they say in those some of those journals.
so I probably had more than 1.5. Definitely.
Yeah, in some aspects, yeah.
And
Yeah, those wavy caps are strong.
Yeah, my friend Chief said the wavy caps are strong. He has some too. So you're a soldier, bro. You the captain. For real, for real. You smiling?
I ain't gonna like real red. I definitely was in fear for my life. I ain't gonna lie, cause I'm like, is this the end? Why? Why can't I think anymore? like, hold up. I'm like, why? Like, I just want to stop tripping. I ain't gonna lie. That's all I wanted. I just wanted to see tomorrow. I was like, Mom, I ain't gonna lie. I just want to see tomorrow.
I had her texting my phone. I never saw my son have fear in his eyes like that. It was like a baby. But I took the baby part as a good thing, though. Because sometimes we return to those states. Because we build up a lot of things, especially being from Philly and living in this world. A lot of people call that, a lot of tough people are really hurt people. Or people that's trying to understand stuff or think they understand everything. A lot of tough people. I understand it all. So this how I act. I never change how I talk. This the way I is. All that type stuff. When really we always figuring out who we are as we grow. All the time. And some of us have certain experiences that allow us to see different perspectives of ourselves instead of latching on to a hurt experience. Because now, like, the question is, what is death? To begin with, to be saying, I think I'm going to die. I think I'm gonna die. Oh my God! And then you go to sleep and wake up. Now, what you think about that? Like, like for real, like that thought process. If you could talk to yourself now and then, and say, "Hey, everything is actually okay. We just need to lay down and drink some water and breathe."
She brought me up a whole cup of ice milk.
Ice milk. Ah, give him some milk. But I sent mom's a video on a scientist and somebody else talking about challenging trips and stuff. She can get a little view. I'll talk to her later.
Yeah.
But she had her journeys too. It's just that with her, she never got them satisfied. That's why you see her running to grandmom and to the church and stuff like that in order to try to get things and then still come back with the same anxiety. It's a whole nother level of experience in your mind.
Hey man, Josh gave me this John. Josh? Huh? Josh? No, it's mine now.
Oh, he walking outside. All right. You where you got to be at, Renzo?
The blue John? Yeah. I ain't buy this John. Josh gave me it. We just traded. Right. I swapped the mute hoodie.
Renzo,
Unreleased John.
you where you got to be at?
Oh yeah, I'm with Fee.
Hey, Fee.
You ain't see this man John in a minute. Oh, that's stuff, yeah, what's up, gang?
Hey, it's been years. I bro Renzo, he had the same friend since he was 6 years old.
CC here sent me a post talking about some men really make a friend group at like 5, 6, 7 years old and say, all right, that's enough socializing for the rest of my life.
That's why we had to take mushrooms in our older age, me and my bros, and get together again. There's always a new awakening. Like that thought, that moment where you're not thinking about the future so much in the past is the opportunity to just make up what you want. To see what. But you good, Renzo?
Yeah, I'm good. About to spark my first L of the day. Is that
Yeah, just try to take it easy today. Like make moves, but see yourself making those moves.
I know what you mean. But you said, wait, you said mom text you?
Yeah, said he don't need any more of that stuff. I said he's okay. I'm gonna talk to him. He said he doesn't go outside like you to the woods and stuff. He just stays in his room.
Guess what? I be in my room for the most part, but hey,
You look like you outside right now. But yeah, we're gonna link up Renzo definitely this year. I know it's been 6 years in the making, but that's how the best movies are made.
I ain't seen you. I ain't seen you. X dropped his Skins album on my birthday, 2018.
Hmm. Hey, it's all gonna work out. You know what's coming through later. And there's no overthought. It's just gonna happen. Just in that space, it's gonna happen. Hey Sierra. Wait, who's that? Hey Sierra. Wait, who's that? Who's that?
Oh, that's Mama C.
Oh, hey mom. Hey Sierra. Say what's up to the camera. If I could. All right, this is a very interesting turn. But I'm glad because we not alone. You're not alone in any of this. Like whatever those weird thoughts you think is weird, and oh man, I should never thought that, or it ain't as weird as you think. There's a billion people on this earth, and a lot of people have experienced exactly what you experienced, even in their own way, but still exactly the same. I heard the stories and I've been through it myself. But yeah, I'm gonna let you go, Renzo. Seem like you with your buddies now. Tell Fee what's up again.
Alright, what's up, B? I ain't gonna lie, I was definitely explaining to Jaja the whole situation in the Discord. I'm like, yo, everything he told me, all I said was, I need some of them bitches. When I took my shrooms for the first time, I ain't had no trip like that. But I seen the walls moving. I felt roaches on my shoulder. I felt roaches on my shoulder and shit. Besides that, I was green. But all that other shit,
Uh huh.
I mean, Zoe telling me he sees shit. Yeah, I mean, Zoe telling me he seen shit rewind in slow motion and all that. I mean, movie shit. Bro told me that. That's a different kind. Hey, bro.
Fee the one. Say y'all all the one.
He only took 2 grams from them joints, bro.
Mhm.
When the time I ate my shrooms, bro, I ain't gonna lie, bro. We had like we had 3 or 4 eighths, man. I mean, I told you 3, right? Yeah, you said like 3, 4 eighths. 3, 4 eighths, no bullshit. And I ate all. I had some like every last eighth, bro. I was high, but I wasn't as high as bro telling me.
Yeah, that's how it was my first time. I didn't see any visuals, but my mind was stimulated. I was chill.
Yeah, that's how my first time was. Stuff up the stream. Oh shit. I'm doing honcho and all that, JJ, bro. But we in it's me, him, and she. But we in his crib, bro. What we got, bro? They all went upstairs. He went on reps. She went to his crib, bro. What, bro? She had a little screw, bro. Alright, no stuff.
All right, Renzo.
I do wish I could have been in that Discord to hear everybody say whatever they had to say about my situation.
Oh no, they were just sitting back here listening the whole time. They doing what they do. They just was grooving. But they can talk to you about it. But I don't know if you'd be able to hear it unless I put it on speaker. Would you want to do that?
It's good. I catch the podcast another time.
All right. Thanks for coming through, Renz.
Yes,
Renzo.
indeed. Yes, indeed.
I'll hit you up in a bit. All right. Oh, that was a moment.
Yeah, thank you for sharing.
I knew it was coming. I sent him a text message before, so he's kind of prepped. So you want to talk on the podcast or not? But he just went for it. It was cool. Yeah, I'm trying to get together, see him this year. Things changing. No, yeah, this is actual real life reality. Being up here in the mountains, I had a lot of experiences where I had to be so grateful that I had other people to talk to. Cause it was like, hold up, I don't even got nobody to turn to the side and emote to, unless I wanna act like I'm in a psychiatric ward real quick. And I'm just trying to make this chill, cause it was actually a good time. I got to figure out something that's going to get me going to where I dreamed of.
Right.
And even where I didn't even dream of, just good standings. Like saying, hey, you don't gotta be rich, just be wealthy. And it seemed the same when you in it. But depending on how much money you spend, that's another story. Mm.
I heard the key to having what you want is wanting what you have.
Mm-hmm. You just got me through. Put a spark on how I got to California. It was a big spark, and it was us all like sending out a bunch of applications, and then I was just running across the YouTube videos about mindfulness and all the stuff we talk about now and do. And I was like, all right, we gotta enjoy what we have now, and something is going to happen. Like, just enjoy the mess out of this. Make it what is worth it. And that's what made me love Philly too. Right before I left, I started doing acid before I left. Got reconnected with my dad. Old friends started coming around a bit. And I just had a different view on what I was looking at overall. And I was like, all right, I'm out. Now I'm not dragging anything all with me. Well, as much as I thought, still things got to work itself out. But it was
Yeah,
fun.
time and place. It's great freedom when you drop those bags and just enjoy wherever you're at.
For
Because it's
whatever
like
it is.
you got the power. You got the power.
I know. That's why I was talking to somebody. I was saying I want to make some songs that's saying like fight the power and stuff like that, and just to get into it. And I was like, then I got to counter with a song reminder like, don't fight them so much though, cause remember you are the power. You don't gotta be fighting, wasting your time fighting them. Just do your thing. Everybody got power. Why you gotta try to take away their power? Let them do what they do. Unless it's interacting with your family and your friends and stuff like that. Or you just decide to get into politics or whatever. For that field.
Regulating that spirit tax.
Yeah. Hold up, I just got this. You trying to take it already? Oh, I looked up that soup, that Thai soup beef noodle brew. It's been simmering for 45 years. And that was
45
in
years, bro.
2019. It's 2025. So that's 50 years now. 51. No, 50. 51.
A 50-year-old soup.
51 in November. It actually got the month to help me out. All right. Yeah, that's some old soup right there. Third generation owner stirs up soup while his mother helps serve and his wife does the other jobs at the restaurant. They must consistently stir to keep the thick brew. Yeah, they don't got no electronics in there. They up every day, 4 in the morning. Go stir the soup. Come on.
Yeah, wonder what it tastes like.
I'm going through it now. The result is an aromatic blend of spices, herbs, and beef. What other spices though? Can't you say spices? You really taste the marrow and the fat. That's what makes the soup good. The quality has never changed. I've been coming here for a very long time, says Anonymous. So it's like a fermented soup. Hmm. Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
supposedly the Olympic flame has been going since like the Greek times.
I think it probably fell out one time.
Yeah, don't tell nobody.
Yeah, don't know. Yeah, yeah, they do say that. Cause I was laughing. They was talking. I was watching the video yesterday, saying, "Why did Snoop Dogg get to hold the torch?" And now
Yeah,
he
that's
dancing at the White House. Well,
they
no,
they
no.
run that torch around the world or something like that before they light the one. They like literally run it around the world or something like that.
Hmm.
Different places.
Now that's some good symbolism though for uniting the world in different ways, or at least the countries that choose to participate.
Yeah. I always thought about how loud would it be if we all went outside and sang the same song? And what song would we agree on singing? But I bet you could hear from space if we all went
That
outside and sang.
amplitudinal resonance would be quite spooky.
Something would start floating.
It might just be so exponential that it would be just crazy loud.
It'd probably be something based off sounds. Cause people got different languages, so some kind of sound we can all agree on.
Yeah, maybe there's no words.
I
Like it's
wonder
just
if you would rip a different type of, instead of breaking the sound barrier for loudness, what if it was like so full that something else weird happened?
With different harmonies going on.
it's like we all sync up and we're all telepathic at the same time.
It would be like, open your mind. It could be like that dolphin thing.
Oh, earlier when we were talking about childbirth and being less traumatic and stuff like that. Do y'all have any clue on why they banned people from not having babies around elephants or tigers or some crazy killer animal, but you can't have babies or all this other stuff around dolphins?
Oh no, I didn't know that.
Let me see if that person
Same
that said
reason
that
that
was
guy
right.
from Vice, the guy from Vice who said that the dolphins are storing all their fractals inside of sand dollars. I'm pretty sure that. Yeah, I have no idea.
Dolphin insistent childbirth is a bad idea. Oh, this says Newsweek. Everybody trying to just say it's dangerous. Understanding dolphin assistant births. What is this site? Newsbiteapp.com. I don't know how much I can trust it, but we in the ETH. Hold on. And see what they wrote. Any case studies? The adorable dolphin. People who have advocated dolphin assisted births argue that the presence of dolphins during childbirth can create a smoothing and serene environment, potentially reducing stress and anxiety for the mother. They claim that dolphins emit certain frequencies and vibrations that can have a positive effect on the mother's emotional well being and potentially facilitate a smoother labor process. May help reduce pain perception, promote relaxation, and stimulate the release of endorphins, potentially into a more comfortable birthing. The practice was first heard when an American couple traveled to Hawaii to plan such a birth. The couple lodged at the Sirius Institute, which promotes dolphin assisted births. According to the couple, it is about reconnecting as humans with the dolphins as we coexist in this world and learn from each other. However, there weren't many developments in their story post the procedure. Exactly what I was looking for.
Right?
Let me look up this. What institute they say that was?
Serious.
Serious. The Serious Institute Dolphin Birth. Oh, yep. AwesomeOcean.com. Igor, Russian name at the end, has been studying water birth for some time. He even stated birthing babies in the Black Sea with dolphins. Wait, let me click on this. Retold. We retold the story. Blah blah blah. Of the Hawaii. The problem is we took the article to mean ocean. Hold on, they gave all this backstory. Let me ask perplexity. That's a TikTok tripping trying to say. I detect inactivity. I am alive. I'm right here.
Are you still listening?
Start playing the bell. I gotta drag it over, prove I'm a human. Let me log into this account. Okay. Dolphin assisted birth. Let me stick the original question first. Is it illegal? Dolphin assisted. Oh, this only can talk when it's on the phone. It's gonna have it just read it out loud. Yeah, I had to find some more information later. It's the same. Crucial. Yeah, everybody just writing like one, two paragraphs. It's not really saying too much. So, alright. And then when I look up the Sirius Institute, it's not coming up. Yeah, everybody is just talking about that couple in Hawaii. That's how things blow up.
Takes one bad apple.
I know.
Now let's do dolphin studies in Hawaii too. Ruin it for everybody.
says the strict Virgo.
You think taking LSD with dolphins is strict?
Abandon ship.
Yeah, I.
Yeah, they don't have a website. Now these people need to make a YouTube. I birthed my baby next to a dolphin, and now he can fly.
Don't breathe underwater.
Yeah, let's at least start there. But I can see it have the frequencies they put out having something to do with keeping getting your brain to form a certain way during those initial states when it's still like mush and everything. Just like we do now. Putting binaural beats and stuff on. Hit it right when it's fresh. And they gonna tell their stories when they get older. My mama went to see Hawaii to have me birthed in the ocean next to a dolphin. I've been trying to relate to people. I'm glad I get to share my story finally.
He walks around, he's just echolocating everywhere he goes.
Y'all thought this was just for blind people. It's for dolphin people too. We actually taught them. They just couldn't tell you that part. We had to keep it a secret.
Yeah, they say get out of the water after 4 hours, but they don't tell you you're going to turn into a dolphin after that.
Twilight Zone experiences start happening. Mm. Well, hold up. I'm gonna log off the YouTube real quick. I'm gonna jump right back on Discord.
All
But
right,
thank you, She, for being on the show. Blue Flame
for sure.
and Sun Tzu. I will be right back. Hey guys, this was an amazing time. Hope y'all got to tie some things down in y'all reality, and y'all had some fun in the meantime. I'm gonna test Ty on out of here. Make sure y'all drop a like, share the video, and check out justtiemushrooms.com. And if y'all want to help me out, I need the Just Tie Now store to be back. I gotta pay to actually get it back online. So if y'all have a way that y'all can help, I got a bunch of links in the description so I can keep things on the ball, on the going, keep these stories going, AI going, playing games, going hiking. The summertime, springtime is coming up. We're gonna be going hiking, doing a lot of things. If y'all want to see this to continuously be possible, find a way to support the show, I would really appreciate it.